Hi, this is Noel Black, producer of The Big Something, and today we are going to take a tour of the paint mines out in Calhan at sunset. And I've wanted to do this for a while, and luckily enough for us, we not only got to see them at sunset, but right after it rained, a rather torrential downpour, in fact, this past Sunday. So come along. Here's a view looking back towards Colorado Springs from the parking lot at the paint mines, and I will include a map of how to get there at the very end in case you want to go out there and haven't been yet. It's amazing. And here's a nice wide trail, very accessible, very flat for pretty much anyone. There's my wife, and with apologies, our dog. There's no dogs allowed out there, which I did not realize until afterwards, so don't bring your dog. More gorgeous clouds after the storm. The trail on the way there, more, and you can see the sun just barely skimming the top of all this. This is what we were hoping for, to catch it at the magic hour. Here's looking west again. The sun is just going down. Some of the soil out there is just this deep navy blue. A lot of the formations have these rivulets that are reminiscent of the Badlands, if you've ever been there. More looking west, there's a little house and barn up on the ridge there. And again, this is walking around the trail that takes you actually into the paint mines. And here's some of these more corniced formations, amazingly called hoodoos. Just a great time to go out there. And I've been out there midday before, but it's beautiful at midday, but it's usually quite hot if it's not overcast and bright, and a lot of these colors really get washed out. Great light. You get a sense of this, but the scale is amazing. I mean, this is just this little pocket tucked away in here, and it looks kind of small and far away. But if you look at the top of this photo here, you can see some of these telephone poles, and you get a little bit of sense of the scale. Intense sort of mustard yellows. And these all white formations are really incredible. Rounded, sort of slithering shapes. Here's one of the sort of wider hoodoos. Looking north. Here looking west. And now we're down in the sort of little creek bed that's in there that you walk through. And the colors are just amazing, especially at this time of night. This you see this plant growing out of here, and an amazing thing about these formations is that they're selenite, clay, and jasper, and when you touch them after the rain, just kind of put a finger on it, they feel almost spongy, and they are quite delicate, and you're absolutely not supposed to climb on them for good reason, but if you just touch them barely, it has the strangest sort of spongy rock feeling. Some of the texture of that formation up close. And it's very clear when you see these after rain that these formations are changing all the time. And one would think that they might just wash away, but they've got evidence of Native Americans having been here as early as 9,000 years ago, and they did use this clay for pots and for pigments, for paints and war paints and painting their horses and things like that. Here you get a little bit of the sense of the scale. There's my wife and son standing in front of one of the formations. My wife had never been there before and was as blown away by it as I was the first time I went out there in 2005. The park opened in 2005 in June, and we went out there shortly afterward, and again at midday, and it was nice to come back at this time of the evening. There's one of the hoodoos. Just color, color, color. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Yeah, there's very little not to like about this county park. Here's some of the hoodoos, and I like this picture with this sort of dead black root in the foreground. Here you can see the rain streaks. And the vegetation, too, alone is absolutely gorgeous. Lots of native prairie vegetation out there. You can see the silhouette of a meadowlark here. Lots of meadowlarks out there, and they kind of follow you around. Hoodoos. This is one of the particularly nice little gullies that you go through, and you get a lot of hoodoos in this one and a lot of color. And the sun was just about going down at this point. Here's some flash pictures of it. And I also want to say that this slideshow doesn't even cover maybe 10% of what you can see out here. It was late, and we were kind of hurrying through because we got there right after the rain. So there's the power lines going over these hoodoos. Again, you get the sense of scale here. It seems more like Bryce Canyon or something when you see people in the picture. And here we are on our way out. We walked back out this little ad hoc creek bed, looking back to the southwest, and just about to get dark. Darkness just about upon us. Beautiful sky, and more beautiful sky. So here's a map of how to get to the paint mines. You go out to Calhan on Highway 24, take a right when you get just through the town on North Calhan Highway, and then Paint Mine Road, which will take you to the paint mines, is right across from the county fairgrounds, not very far down, and then you wind around and you'll see the parking lot there where the bee is. If you look at this map here, you will see that the park itself is quite extensive, and there are lots of little walks you can do all around. Can't recommend it enough if you haven't been out there already. If you have, yeah, definitely want to check it out at sunset. All right, we'll see you next time.